Okay, we should be live. I'm going to make sure everything's all working, and then we can get started with Week 18. Audio sounds good. All right, we should be good to go. Week 18, the final week of the regular season, the final regular season stream in OFL 22 history. It's the last one. Over half of our teams will be playing their final games that actually matter today. So this is the end of the road for some of us. Hopefully not all of us. What's good, Pokemon, SGYT, the games? Yes, all of your backups are in. Little Ja, what's good, everybody? I have not checked the polls. I have no clue which games are winning. So I guess I'll do that now. Okay, wow, a lot of votes. Why did our game get the least amount of votes? Our game's the most important. But the Broncos and Ravens got the most votes, and then the Tigers and Jaguars got second. So it looks like those will be the two games that we watch, and then we'll be simcasting all of the other ones. So just so we can get an update on what has happened, what the playoff picture looks like, there is a lot up for grabs. So if the Beats win, they're the 1 seed. They can't drop lower than 2. Them and the Ravens will be 1 and 2 in some order, and it's very similar in the NFC. If Carolina wins, they're the 1 seed. Them and Detroit will be the top 2 in some order. I think pretty much every other division has been clinched. The Bats have clinched the NFC East. It hasn't said the Niners have clinched the West, but they are a game ahead of the Rams and swept them. So the Niners have clinched the West. The Broncos have clinched the AFC West. The only division still up for grabs is with the Oklahoma City Bison. And if they win, I think they're playing someone who's kind of bad, then they will clinch their division. As for the wild cards, a lot is up for grabs here. The only wild card team to clinch is Dublin. They will be the 5th seed no matter what. They cannot go any higher because the Ravens clinched their division, and they cannot go any lower because they are 2 games ahead of everybody in the AFC. Other than that, I don't think any of the wild cards have clinched. New England and Chicago are in win and in situations, and then you have other teams very close behind like Cleveland, the Jaguars, the Wizards, the Aviators, I guess, the Dolphins, I guess. And then in the NFC, these 3 teams are in win and in situations, being the Falcons, the Rams, and the Vikings. The Vikings one is especially fascinating because we play against the Bears, who are 1 game back. So if we lose to the Bears, we'll have the same record as the Bears, but they're going to have the tiebreaker since they will have swept us. So for a team like Minnesota, it's pretty easy. If we win, we're in, and if we lose, we're out. So the stakes really are not much higher than that. Here's a full look at the standings as well, just so we can get an idea of what other teams are in the race. Yeah, so the Browns are tied with these 2 wild cards. So if one of these 2 teams loses and Cleveland wins, Cleveland plays the Bucks, so they're going to win. They will pass them. We know the Tigers play the Jags. I think New England, I don't remember who they play. We'll look at the schedule before we start. And then if the Browns lose, if multiple of these teams lose, then it goes to teams like the Dolphins, the Wizards, the Pioneers, the Jags, and the Aviators, who all have a slight shot. As for the NFC, yeah, these 3 are in win and in scenarios. The Falcons and Rams can still get in with a loss. The Vikings cannot because the Bears would pass us. If hell breaks loose amongst these teams, then you'll have teams like the Giants, the Black Knights, the Huskies, and of course, as I said earlier, the Bears, who are also in the race. 25 teams are still alive. Only 7 have been eliminated. So let's look at the very important games on the schedule, and then we'll get started. So this game, if the Beats win, they get the 1 seed. The Bats are playing for seeding. The Giants are playing for a wild card. This game is for seeding, and we will be watching it today. The Ravens can go as high as 1. They can't go lower than 2. And then Denver will be 3 or 4. This game we will also be watching. Very important game. If the Tigers win, they are in. If not, did the Jaguars have the head-to-head tiebreaker. Did the Jags beat the Tigers earlier in the year? They did. So if the Tigers lose, they're pretty much out because... Oh, they did beat Cleveland. Okay. So they have the head-to-head over Cleveland, but if obviously they lose and Cleveland wins, then Cleveland passes them. But if the Jags win, the Jags will finish higher than the Tigers, which means the Jaguars probably get in. So this is very similar to our game in the sense that if the Vikings win, we're in, but if we lose, then the Bears passes because they beat us. Yeah, the Patriots do play Detroit. So if New England wins, they're in. If they lose, they're probably out. As for the Lions, they can go as high as 1, can't go lower than 2. Dolphins and Huskies, if the loser of this game is definitely out, the winner, maybe, we'll see. They still would need a lot to happen. If the Browns win, they have a good shot of getting in. If they lose, they're out. With the Shamrocks and the Saints, that game's unimportant. Dublin's already clinched the 5. We talked about this one. The Pioneers, they need to win and need other stuff to happen. The Rams, with a win, are in. London, if they win, then they can get in, and they'll need other stuff to happen. Carolina, if they win, they get the 1 seed. If Atlanta wins, they get a wild card spot. If the Bison win, they clinch the division. If they lose, who knows? Maybe they still get in, maybe they don't. The Niners are playing for seeding, and both of these teams are long shots to get in, but still get in. I know everybody wants their game to be first, so let's make it fair. Let's start with the one game that has zero importance at all. Dublin and New Orleans. Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2. 1. That is Dublin. Oh, I'm already on Dublin. Perfect. We're simcasting every game that we're not watching, by the way. Keep in mind. I said, and you agreed to do mine. Did I officially agree? If I agreed, then it would be most fair to do yours next. But did I say I agree? I don't remember if I did, so I'm not, doubting you. I did agree. Okay, so we'll do the Browns next, because that's fair. I said I would. But we're already here, so we're just not going back. Let's see how Dublin's backups do against the Saints. So far, pretty close. New Orleans seems to have a slight edge. This is why you don't start your backups in games that do matter. Luckily for Dublin, this game does not matter. Wow, they're actually winning. Whoa. Okay, hold on. This is actually kind of a good game. We're going to go a little slower. We're not going to hop in yet. Oh, they only score a field goal. Why? Why didn't the Saints try to go for it? Yeah, this game's over now. Yeah, Dublin's going to win. So, whoa. New Orleans is the ball. What happened? Why did they... Look at the third one down. Dublin faked their punt on a 4th and 5. It says Johnny Hecker pass thrown away. He threw a pass away on 4th down on a fake punt. That might be the worst play call I've ever seen. I do not care. This game does not matter. Because Dublin already has their spot locked up, so they can get cute all they want. But still, how stupid do you have to be when you're up by 3 on the opposing 44 to not only fake a punt on 4th and 5, but throw it away? What is New Orleans' record? I think they're 6 and 10. They're out of the playoffs. Now New Orleans can win. C.J. Stroud backs up in the pocket, and he is sacked. Are they going to have time for another play? I don't know. Nope. And Dublin pulls it out. That's what she said. That was a weird final minute, but okay. All right. Even EA thought I was playing first. There you go. C.J. Stroud was, he was actually outperformed by the backup, Alexander Thomas. And then, of course, we have Johnny Hecker, 0 for 1, thrown away. So Dublin, they are obviously still the 5 seed. They finished the year, 12 and 5? So they will play either OKC or Denver or whoever ends up winning the South. All right, I promised the Browns I would do their game here. I wish I didn't promise that so we could leave the suspense for later, but a deal's a deal, so. Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2. 2. That is the Browns. So if the Browns win, they're probably in. You got to assume one of Chicago or New England loses, because New England's playing a really good Lions team, and then Chicago is playing a Jaguars team who is fighting for a playoff spot. So I would predict one of those teams loses. So that means the Browns are going to be the first team to pass them. So if they beat a really, really bad Bucs team, then they should get in. This is the type of game that Nick's team finds a way to lose, however. So maybe it's not as simple as it looks like. And yeah, if they lose, they're fully out. They can't get in, pretty much guaranteed. So they have to win. Everybody in the AFC wildcard race is definitely rooting for the Bucs here, and there's a lot of teams in that discussion. Okay, the Bucs are winning. Cleveland's offense laying an egg. Who could have guessed that one? Now it's tied. This is way closer than it needs to be. Cleveland scores a touchdown. Okay, now Cleveland's on a roll. Now they're on a roll. Okay. They were down 10-3, and now they have woken up. The Browns handle the Bucs 31-10. So Cleveland does their job. It started rough for a quarter and a half, but they did what they needed to. So Cleveland gets into the postseason if New England or the Tigers lose. And again, I think there's a good chance that happens. Not a guaranteed chance, but a good chance. Russell Wilson was good. Not great, but definitely good. IT Thomas, 4 yards a carry. Good stuff. Wow, a lot of sacks. 4 for Danielle Hunter, 3 for Ajabo, 2 for Kinlaw, 2 for Barmore. How many is that total? 4, 6, 10. Cleveland had 10 sacks today. Good God. Mine next. I'm not making any more promises to people. I already promised Cleveland and I regretted it. So we're not making any more promises. But yeah, yours will be sooner or later. Although I feel like we should do the Beats game after we watch the Ravens, because if the Ravens win, then that'll have more suspense. Or if we simcast the Beats game now and they win, then the Ravens portion of the Ravens game doesn't really matter. Describe our season. Pretty good. We went 12-5. You got the 5 seed. I'd say that's pretty good. Okay, maybe we simcast one more game and then we watch our first one. Which one of these games is unimportant? I mean, they're all important in some way. I have a fun way to do it. Siri, give me a number between 1 and 16. 5. The 5th game up is the game we're going to do. 1, 2, 3. Oh, New England! Okay. So we're doing a big one. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2. 1. So we are using the Lions. Okay. Siri wants to get big. This is important for both teams and a lot of other teams as well. So for the Lions, if they lose, they're the 2 seed. If they win, they can go up to 1. And they can't go behind anyone, right? Actually, I think they can, because they're 11-5. The Niners and Bats have 10 wins. So the Lions actually could drop to 4. As for New England, if they win, they are in. If they lose, then they're probably out, and Cleveland passes them. So if New England loses, then the Browns, I would assume, clinch a playoff spot. Yeah. If New England loses, Cleveland's in no matter what. And then I think we're going to watch the Ravens-Broncos game after we simcast this one. New England has a new stadium. Huh. Okay. No more Gillette Field. Now it's probably called Patriots Field, I'd be willing to bet. Let's see what the game is calling it. The game was calling it Patriots Field. I was right. Who could have guessed that? Hardcore Lions fan, welcome to the club. Detroit scores a field goal. I mean, the Lions are 11-5 for a reason. This is a really, really good team. New England scores a touchdown. The Patriots really aren't that talented, but they've been managing to win games all year. 10-9, low-scoring game. We're going to go slower. So New England just got the ball, 1st and 20. 3rd and 18, or 3rd and 13, they get 17. Okay, a couple incompletions, but on 3rd down, they get a big play for Alonzo Bell. 3rd and 9, incomplete, probably going to kick a field goal. They're up by 4. The Lions offense does nothing. New England's offense does nothing. We're going to hop in. There's 3 minutes to go. New England is up by 4. If they win, they are in. If they lose, they are out. And if they lose, then Cleveland is automatically in. And everybody else in the AFC playoff race should be rooting for the Lions as well. Wow, Shane Arsenault has been painfully mid today. But yeah, everybody in the AFC wildcard race, Columbus, Orlando. I don't think it really affects the Tigers too much. Still, just in case, the Tigers, the Jaguars, the Pioneers, all those teams, they need Detroit to win pretty much as Cleveland does. Shane Arsenault is a lefty? The more you know, as he fumbles it! And it's picked up by Detroit. You want the Pats? I feel like it would help you guys if the Lions won too. If you win your division, then it doesn't really matter. But if you lose your division, then New England could pass you. So I think it would help the Bison if the Lions win, but maybe not as much as the other teams. But it would still help them. What was that? Yikes. If they don't get this 3rd and 26, they might just be best off punting it. They should have re-signed Watson. I think he gave Watson an offer, and Watson said no. They just ran a screen on 3rd and 26. And they just called a timeout. What the hell are they doing? My God. Okay. All right. 4th and 23. Arsenault lets it rip, and it's incomplete. We'll see if New England can win it. They have Damian Harris at running back, I'm pretty sure. Second and 9. Whole lot of nothing. The Lions' defense is hanging strong. They're out of timeouts, though, because they used one on 4th down. For Lord knows what reason. Now 3rd and 9. They're throwing it. I don't agree with that at all. He got it! He is out of bounds, though, but I don't think it matters. So New England is going to win the game. The Patriots are going to the playoffs. So this hurts the Browns' chances, and this hurts a lot of other teams' chances as well. So a big gasp from everybody in the AFC. I think the only team that's legitimately happy about this is Carolina because they have now clinched the #1 seed. Who's going to get the honor of beating the Lions in the first round? Hopefully us. Jeez, that was brutal. All right, I think we're going to watch the Ravens game against the Broncos. This is for seeding. Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2. 2. Who is that? The Ravens. Is your team out? I don't think so, but everybody who was a long shot is now even more of a long shot. Put it that way, I think. Echo. All right, the Ravens want color rush. Denver isn't here, so we'll just rock all white. All right, let's get this show on the road. Our first watch game of the day, we've got the Baltimore Ravens going up against the Denver Broncos. Both teams have already clinched their divisions. Both teams are playing for seeding. If the Ravens win, they can go as high as 1. If the Broncos win, they can go as high as 3. And neither team can go lower than they're currently at, which is 2 and 4 respectively. So the Ravens open up with the football, our last chance to see what Dan can do in his push for the MVP. Dan has had a very good season. The interceptions are a little high. He's at 14, but he's also got a shot to break the passing touchdowns record. He's currently at 55. What is the record off the top of my head? Like 58, maybe? Oh, it's 55. Okay, so all he needs is 1. Watch him not throw any now. That'd be funny. Short throw, hauled in by Big Zeke. The Broncos have been a weird team this year. They've been kind of streaky. They've had their good moments. They've had their bad moments. It seems like they're playing well again. They're playing well enough to officially clinch their division over the piss-poor Pioneers. Third and 6, incomplete. So the Ravens do nothing on their opening drive. Now we get to see Andy Morrison Jr. For those of you who were here last year, you may know Andy Morrison Sr., who played for the Ravens. So it's like a homecoming for the Morrison family. Jr. returns to Baltimore to take on his former team. Did I say his former team? I meant his dad's former team. Same thing. Close enough. Has Denver made the playoffs since season 1? I'm not sure if they... I know they've been close. The Broncos have always been pretty good. But I can't think of the last time they were in the playoffs other than the first season when they had that ridiculous game against the Tigers. Where there was like 3 touchdowns in the last minute of the game or something. And then Denver lost in the next round. Third and 11, nothing. Rough start for both offenses. So now the Broncos are going to have to punt it. The Ravens' defense has been kind of suspect in watched games so far, so it's good to see them get a stop early. But Denver responds with a what a punt! Down at the 4. The possible MVP's got some work to do. He's not the only one who has a lot of touchdowns this year on this team. DJ Moore, I think, has like 21. My mission is I need 3 teams to lose to get it, or you guys can just win. I mean, if you win, you're going to be the 3 seed. So that seems like the easier scenario. But yeah, if the Bison lose, then things get weird. Things get really weird. So if that happened, Chicago could clinch the division, and then the wild card gets all spoofy. Which we do like chaos. I will say that. But I think the Bison play a pretty bad team. So, I mean, the Bison should win. If they lose just because Pokemon doesn't want my team in the playoffs. What happens if both of you aren't in the playoffs? Although I think that scenario is pretty much impossible. I think at least one of your teams has to get in. If the Ravens lose, can I play my backups? I feel like that wouldn't really be fair because if we did your game first, you wouldn't really have the opportunity to do that. Here's this. You can choose to play your backups now with no leader in this game, but you have to play your backups if that's what you want to do. I think that's fair because I think both games would have started at the same time. So it's not like one team knows what happens in the other game. So if you want to play your backups, I can put your backups in, but you have to say it within the next minute. The Bison play the Jets. Yeah, the Jets aren't all that good. So the Bison should win that game, but you never know. I will just play the starters. Okay, that works. Who did the Beats play again? I feel like they play someone not very good. Ezekiel Elliott breaks a tackle. Zeke trucks a defender to the 15. The Diablos, yeah, the Diablos are also not very good. So, that's a game the Beats should have no problem with. Are the Ravens going to get it off before the end of the quarter? Nope. No score through the first, but the Ravens are marching. They've got it in the red zone. Let's see if they can punch it in and do some damage. Can Dan get his NFL/OFL record 56 passing touchdown? Will it be on this play? It will not. I think that's Diggs. Can't wait for my team to have legit 0 holes on my roster filled with elite talent across the board just to miss the playoffs because EA said my team is mediocre. I mean, my team is in the same boat, so I know how you feel. I just haven't gotten punched in the nuts the same amount of time that you have. But I mean, I will say, my roster is probably the best in the league, if not at the top. And we are, 9-7? And we happen to play, I would say, in a slightly weaker conference. Although I think the conferences this year are pretty even, because both conferences have a lot of teams fighting for wild card spots. There's touchdown number 56. But, yeah, I think both conferences are pretty even, whereas I feel like most seasons the AFC has been way better. But, yeah, that plays a record. Dan has thrown for more touchdowns than anybody in an NFL or OFL season ever. I think that was Darnell Washington. I don't know whatever tight end named Washington it would be. An 11-play, 97-yard drive. They started with the water punt, and they made no excuses going down the field. And now Denver's got to respond. So if Denver loses this game, they will, no matter what, play the Shamrocks in the first round in Denver. That's an interesting game. And the Ravens will play somebody like Cleveland or Chicago or New England or whoever. I forgot they had James Cook, who's an X Factor. I don't think he's for a starter, though, because they have Cookie Banana, a user player. 3rd and 1. Short throw. That'll get the job done. I want to see Morrison slaying it. He hasn't slung it yet. He's got some good weapons, including Michael Thomas, who I think caught that pass. Another solid play. 4 for 20. 420 blaze it. Now it's a 3rd and inches. Why do I feel like they're going to throw the ball? Yeah, they should not have thrown the ball. That was a bad call, kids. So the Broncos are going to have to punt it. And the Ravens have themselves in a pretty good position with the lead and the ball. I think it's too early to go for it. I feel like they should have just ran it on third down and not gotten cute. There's a deep shot. Caught down the field. Nobody's going to catch him. An 80-yard touchdown to start the drive, I think, by Hudson Henry, the other tight end. And Baltimore is really looking good. That's number 57 on the year for Dan. He's certainly not hurting his MVP case so far, I'll tell you that. Kick is good, and the Ravens lead 14-0. A one-play, 80-yard drive. And now Denver's got to respond, or else this could get ugly quick. Looks like he made the right choice. Yeah, probably. There's still plenty of game left to go, and the Broncos are a really good team. But the Ravens look very good. They had that one hiccup early in the year where they got slaughtered by Dublin in watched, and I think everyone kind of had a little concern about them. But I think we've watched them twice since then, and they have looked really good. So there's no reason to think the Ravens are not one of the big favorites for the OFL Bowl. The problem is, though, 2 seeds have had a lot of bad luck in the OFL. And if assuming the Beats were to win, the Ravens would still get the 2 seed. And not only did 2 seeds have bad luck, but they're going to have to play someone good, like the Tigers or the Browns. So it's not going to be easy. But if they can get out of the first round, I think they've got a real shot. I don't think Andy Morrison's thrown the ball past like 5 yards of a line of scrimmage. Like, this is like prime, like rookie Matt Corral type of stuff on offense. Ironic that Matt Corral used to play in Denver, one of his like 15 different teams that he's played for. Need to trust your 6'4", 235-pounder to get you a few inches. Pause. Unpause. Another short throw. I mean, I guess it's working on this drive. But, I mean, Andy Morrison has an arm. He's got to show it. Last play before the 2-minute warning. There's a throw downfield. And it works. Who starts with the ball? I don't remember. Who starts with the ball? I feel like the Broncos had it first. No, the Ravens had it first. So Denver will start with the ball in the second half, which is a pretty big deal. Morrison under pressure, sacked by Montez Sweat. Should be a Viking. Montez Sweat is one of 4 Ravens in the double digits in sacks. Most teams are lucky to have 1. They have 4. Leave it to Oxy to see something about football and then make it sexual. I mean, you were kind of giving me a layup, so I'm going to take the layup. 3rd and 23, Morrison chucks it down because of course he does. If the Ravens score a touchdown, it's a 3-score game. It turns into a full-out blowout and thus a sim. And they have 3 timeouts. There's no reason to think they can't do it. So we'll see if the Raven can put a nail in the coffin of this game. Dan has thrown 2 touchdowns today. He's at 57 on the year. Any chance he can get up to 60? If Dan throws 60 touchdowns, it's going to be hard not to vote for him first place for the MVP. That's a good start. I don't think DJ Moore's gotten the ball much. I'm trying to talk about how the Broncos should have gone for a QB sneak. Yes, but you said to get you a few inches. So, again, if you're going to give me the layup, I'm taking the layup. Oh, dear, Dan's in the zone. As if normal Dan wasn't already good enough. as they call another timeout. So they've already had to use 2. 4th and inches means you need it. I know. That's the point. Zeke gets out of bounds. Stops the clock. Dan has only missed 1 throw. He has more touchdowns than incompletions. Need me to word? I processed it well. I just changed it into how I wanted it to be said. Dan's under pressure. Lets it rip. Incomplete. For a second, I didn't see the defender there because the defender was like camouflaging with the sideline. So I thought it was just a receiver there. I was like, what the hell are the Broncos doing? Dan's going to chuck it up again. And he overthrows the end zone by a lot. You still have a timeout. You don't need to do anything crazy. It's not like time is of the essence quite yet. 3rd and 10. He's going to break this. Oh, that's going to be a face mask. Whoa. That's a big deal. 15 yards and an automatic first down. Aaron Tucker. Wow. And it stops the clock. That is big. And that would have been 4th down. The Ravens would have had to punt it. Now they get another set of downs. And with the clock being stopped. Dan's going to go for the end zone. Geez, he really wants to hit the home run. He's swinging for the fences when right now he should be trying to get doubles. Dan's under more pressure, throws it away. Dan has made some very questionable decisions on this drive. He still is in the zone, though. Third and 10. And he's incomplete. That was a hard drive to watch. Jesus. That did not look like an MVP. Throw him a ball there. What is your record? You guys are 8-8. Oh, wow, they're kicking. I guess I don't mind it. It's a 51-yard field goal, and there's only 18 seconds. Yeah, why not? And he got it. Okay. So the Ravens do tack on 3 directly because of the face mask. And it's now 17-3. That'll probably bring us to the half. Unless Denver does something crazy, which I don't think they will. They do have 3 timeouts, but I don't think they're gonna. So the Ravens look pretty good. That last drive was pretty ugly, but they still scored. As for Denver, I'm not very impressed. I mean, this is a team who's going to win their division. They're probably going to be the 3 or 4 seed, and they really don't look all that. What happened? Your internet was bad. So Dan, let's just say Dan, he forgot how to play smart football for a good 5 plays. The Ravens still scored, but he was kind of a moron the entire drive. He didn't really know what he was doing. We don't need to see the halftime. Thanks, EA. We know the games. I guess we can see Bears, though. Unless it lets me back out. Nope. Bears? What did he do? He just made stupid reads the entire time. He just didn't really seem to know what he was doing. Bears! Yay! Dan took 4 separate shots to the end zone, really for no reason. And all of his other throws weren't all that great, too. So he got completely bailed out by the face mask. But Denver's got to score here, else it could get out of hand. So their offense has to wake up. You saw the face mask. So I think Dan threw 3 consecutive incompletions, and they were all kind of stupid. I think the last one he was under pressure, so it wasn't really that bad. But the first 2 were pretty terrible reads. Michael Thomas is hurt. I don't know about you, but I think that's a big deal because he is pretty good. He's going to the locker room. Uh-oh. Looks like somebody's out for the game and maybe longer. It's a two-possession game because the Ravens are up by 14. Third and 1. If Denver doesn't get this, they are in trouble. Oh, they got it pretty easily. Wide open running room for Cookie Banana. I can't math, clearly. Quick maths. Denver should just try to get the run game going more. They haven't ran it poorly. They're just not really trying to. Seems like they're very hell-bent on throwing 5-yard out routes the entire time. And it isn't really working. There's a good play. Again, a short throw, but a good first down. The Ravens' defensive line's not making it easy, though. And, of course, they've got some pretty damn good defensive linemen. I see a lot of superstar icons and X factors within that group. There's another short throw. Wash, rinse, repeat. I think Andy Morrison's thrown past the first down marker like once. I guess it's working because he's 15 for 17, I think, or something like that. Oh, well, he threw it past the first down marker, and it worked. I thought Morrison was Aaron Rodgers for most of the second quarter. Bronco legend Aaron Rodgers. What a guy. They're moving it well, though. They have it up at 28. They're taking some time off the clock, but they're moving it efficiently. They haven't had any big plays, but they're doing their job. Now 3rd and 3. And, of course, they would run a screen. Of course they would. So the Ravens' defense gets a stop. At least Denver scores. But they're still down by 13. They still got a little ways to go. Or 11. I can't count, apparently. Let's see if Dan has remembered how to play football since halftime. Because that last drive was rough. Dan is still in the zone. What does it take for him to get out of the zone? Because ever since he's been in the zone, he's been some hot garbage. Does he have to throw an interception? I feel like it can't be that hard to get him out. There's a good throw. I think that's Hudson Henry again. I feel like the Ravens have 15 different starters with at least superstar. I mean, practically everybody on the field for them, on both sides of the ball, has at least superstar. There's another good throw. Probably a sack. It could be a sack. I don't remember what his main ability is. So maybe if he has a scrambling or an improvising archetype, then I guess it could be a sack. Maybe it's a certain amount of incompletions. I don't know. It's certainly not a certain amount of incompletions in a row, because on the last drive he had 5 in a row and he still has it. So it can't be that. Ravens are moving it quickly. They have also not really tried to run the ball at all. And I mean, I guess it's working because Dan's balling. And right as I say that, they run it. How many times has Zeke gotten the ball? 9. He has 53 yards, though. That's almost 6 yards a carry. Maybe they should give him the ball more. Fumble! Ooh, was he down? I don't know. That was close. Dan's going to have to catch him, which he won't. Dante Manning, go Ducks. I don't know if he was down, though. Okay, he probably was, because they're reviewing it. Whenever they review a fumble, it's going to get reversed. Yeah, he's down. But initially, it almost looked like he wasn't. Obviously, initially, we didn't really get a good angle. So a big break for the Ravens. That could have been bad. They'll keep the ball. They'll look to make it a 3-score game here. Now in the red zone at the 19-yard line. I feel like we've had more fumbles get reversed than, like, stand. Like, way more. Madden completely, like, scripts fumbles, and I cannot be convinced otherwise. If it's a hit stick, it's a fumble. If not, it's probably not a fumble. That's a good way to look at it. If it's a hit stick, it's usually out. And if it's not a hit stick, I think the only way it's really a fumble, unless it's, like, completely, like, peanut punched out or something, which is unlikely. Broken tackle, touchdown for who's won? I think that's Cortland Sutton. It's a 3-score game. Good performance here by the Ravens. They do their job. Denver is officially the 4 seed. They will host, unless they come back and win this game, they will play Dublin in the wild card round in Denver, and they're not going to win. So a statement performance by the Ravens. They finished, 14-3, I think? They were 13-3 coming in this game, right? Is that Deshaun Watson on their sideline? Did the Broncos have Deshaun Watson? I did not know that. Dan looked like an MVP. He finishes the year with 58 passing touchdowns, outdueling his draft classmate. I forgot to mention that storyline. Andy Morrison, who wasn't bad, but he also threw like 3 passes more than 5 yards. Zeke was solid. Quiet game for DJ Moore, I guess, for his standards. Still pretty good otherwise. Quite a few sacks. 2.5 for Sweat. All right, let's do some simcasting. So I did the math in my head at some point during the game, and there are a lot of teams in the AFC who have been eliminated who I didn't realize were out, but now they're out. So with New England and Cleveland both winning, they each have 10 wins. So that means nobody under 10 wins can get... Ooh, who's hurt? Chandler Jones. I mean, he's not a starter. That's not the end of the world. So... as I was trying to say, the 7th seed of the AFC is going to have 10 wins. So that means, because it's going to be either the Tigers or the Browns. So that means the Dolphins, the Wizards, the Pioneers, the Jaguars, and the Aviators are all out. So that means we can get through their games because they're now not important. We'll also do the Beats game as well. We can do that one first. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2. 1. Who's 1? Is their game the one that's not going to show up on the screen? I think we might as well just get the entire AFC done now. Why not? We'll get through all the AFC Simcast games, then we'll watch the Tigers, and then we'll get through the NFC. How about we do that? Who's home? Did I pass it? I might have passed it, yeah. Oh, they're at the top. 1 is the Diablos. So if the Beats win, they get the 1 seed. If they lose, they get the 2 seed. Do the Jaguars. We're doing the Jaguars game at the end of the AFC stuff. So we'll do the Orlando game first. We'll do OKC. The Dolphins play the Huskies, so we'll wait a little while for that. So I guess we'll simcast. No, we're still watching the Jaguars today. Don't worry. But yeah, after this game, we'll do the Wizards game, the Bison game, and then we'll watch the Tigers and the Jags. And then that'll be it for the AFC minus the Dolphins, and they're one of the teams who is now eliminated. Is Derrick Henry still injured? I think he's back. Yeah, he's back. Let's see if Brooklyn can get this number 1 seed. So far, not great. What's going on here, Brooklyn? Okay, there they go. Now the Beats have woken up. Here they go. This game's closer than it should be. We're going to slow down. The Beats have it at their own 10. And now they're moving it. Nothing is more disappointing than the Dolphins. Oh, the Beats force a turnover, it looks like. The Dolphins can still do the entire league a solid and get Hector out of the playoffs. So that'd be nice. Wait, who won? The Beats won, right? Yeah, the Beats one. So Brooklyn is going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. They'll get a first-round bye. They'll finish with the tie for best record in the league. The Ravens will be 2. They'll play one of the wild cards. Joe Burrow was pretty good. Does Joe Burrow have an MVP case? I think he's right on the fringe. He certainly makes a good argument. His numbers are pretty good. So, yeah, he's got a good shot to make the list, which, by the way, award voting is going to be later today. Marlon McWidget was pretty mid. Check if we missed field goals. Okay. Both kickers did. Get this man McWidget out of Mexico. Now that his season's done, he gets to hang out in Cancun, though. Doesn't that sound fun? All right, next up, we're going to do the Wizards and Aviators. Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2. 2. I think the Aviators are 2. Both of these teams had a shot going into the day. They needed a lot of things to happen, and those things did not happen. So both of these teams who... Was this the... No, this was the divisional round last year. Both of these teams played each other in the playoffs last year. The Wizards have been a mainstay in the postseason, I think, since Season 2. And obviously the Aviators won the championship. And both of them will not be back. So this is going to be their last game. Last time we get to see Dickie Cocklauncher sling it. Yeah, the Bison's game is going to be next. I think that's what we were originally planning. So pretty much both teams are playing for pride. So which team is going to be more prideful? It looks like the Aviators so far. Oh, look at the Wizards. They make some noise. They're really making some noise. Oh, what a run. What a run by the Wizards. 35 unanswered. They allow another touchdown, but it's not going to matter. Orlando's going to win it 35-21. So the Wizards finish the year. What is that out there? What was the Aviators coach wearing? Dear God. What an ugly apparel. Okay. Patrick Mahomes with 5 touchdowns. He was very good today. Cocklauncher threw 3. Still, I think, a very successful, nice game by these two. Jerry Wilkinson, his final Rookie of the Year push. But both of these teams, I feel like, were very successful throughout OFL 22. I mean, the Aviators won a chip. How many teams can say that? 3. Seattle, the Giants, and the Aviators. That's it. The Wizards, consistently very good. They made the playoffs 3 times. This year, they fell a little bit short. But the Wizards were always one of the most fun teams in the league. So, salute. All right, now I think we have the Bison, and then we're going to watch the Tigers and Jaguars. Right? Yep. We might... Yeah, no, we'll do Bison and then the Tigers. Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2. 1. I think the Jets are 1. So the Bison win. They clinch their first playoff spot of OFL 22, and they clinch the division. If they lose... Here, let's pull up the AFC standings. If they lose, then they have a chance to not get in. There's a hypothetical world where both the Tigers and the Browns make the playoffs. How did the Bison do against the Browns in particular? All 3 OFL Bowl champions could miss the playoffs. They probably will. The Giants need a lot to happen. Did the Browns play the playoffs? Ooh, they lost! So shouldn't that mean the Bison are going to be in regardless? How did they do against the Tigers? Loss. 1. They split. Okay. So the Browns are still going to need the Tigers to lose, probably. So this game doesn't really affect Cleveland, does it? So shouldn't OKC be in regardless? Did you guys play the Patriots? We'll check that after this game. Praying I win. Well, unfortunately, I know Giddy has no sound. But little does Giddy know, his team's already eliminated. Poor guy. We have not simcasted their game, have we? Now that I think about it. We should probably do that before we watch the Tigers game. Bison with a quick touchdown. Whoa, Bison are coming out the gate storming. The Jets out of safety, though. Okay, so it looks like OKC is going to win this division. They're up 28-9. Yeah, OKC's got this wrapped up. All right, so the Bison finish 11-6. They have clinched the division. So congratulations to OKC for winning the AFC South. They will be the 3 seed in the playoffs. Don't have volume. Can someone type and tell me if I'm eliminated? The Dolphins are eliminated if someone wants to tell them. Josh Allen did his part. Vince Bryant, not bad. Alvin Kamara was very good. Who is Sam Bradshaw? 5'10", white dude out of Georgia. So is this like our version of Lad McConkey? De'Ami Brown, 9 catches, 140 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Kayvon Thibodeau, 2 sacks. He had like close to 20. Okay, so let's check if the Browns play New England. Because based on the playoff picture going into the week, I think the order was New England, Chicago, and Cleveland. So I assume that's how the tiebreaker would work. Unless something drastically changes. They did not play New England. Okay. Can I see my players on the field? Well, we are simcasting every game, so you will get to see your team on the field. All right, we'll do the Pioneers game. I don't know how I missed that one earlier. And then we'll watch the Tigers, and then we'll simcast through the NFC and the Dolphins. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2. 2. That is the Cardinals. The Browns are not in or out yet. They are in if the Tigers lose, and they are out if the Tigers win, I think. Unless Madden decides to be weird, which knowing Madden would not really surprise me. If the Cardinals lose, I assume they would get the number 1 pick. They've got, of course, their punter at quarterback going up. It would be the perfect Pioneer way to lose this game. That would be such a fitting end to their year. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, though. Oh, wow, they're killing them. Yeah, that would have been fitting. That would have been storybook. But yeah, it looks like Salt Lake City's going to finish off the job pretty easily here, winning 40-6. Good Lord. So the Cardinals finished 2-15. Can we see their quarterback stats from this screen? Yes, we can. Sam Sloman. Pretty cheeks. Jerome Diggs, meanwhile, throws 4 touchdowns. Joe Mixon does his thing. Sally, 6 for 85. Sally is that chick. I was going to say that dude, but Sally's not a dude, so that doesn't really work. Trey Martin, 2 picks. All right, so let's finish the AFC playoff picture right here with the Tigers and the Jags. If the Tigers win, they, I would assume, get the 7th seed. And if they lose, then they are out. And Cleveland would get that spot. Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2. 1. That is the Tigers. I know Pepper Jack was here. If he still is, he can pick his jerseys. I speak for everyone when I say we are rooting for the Tigers. Okay, you can root for the Tigers and root to be eliminated. All black. Is that their alternate? I think. Or their color rush. Their color rush is all black? Huh, the more you know. Okay. And then for the Tigers, do we want to do orange? Their home jerseys are orange, right? Yeah. Orange versus black. That sounds cool. I'm screenshotting that. I caught you in 4K. Nick wants the Tigers to win. Nick wants his team to be eliminated. Maybe you should tell EA you want the Tigers to win just so EA makes the Jaguars win. A little reverse psychology. The all blacks versus the all orange kind of goes hard. I mean, it looks like... I mean, you've got the 2 main Tiger colors. So... I don't know, it just all kind of fits. The final watched regular season game of OFL 22, by the way. Do people know about it? What deal? Oh, that deal. I was half kidding, because it's not really fair. But you can still be an honorary player. But, I mean, I don't think it's fair that I get to make my team better and nobody else does. Oh, that? Oh. I don't think that's how it works, little buddy. I thought it was that you become a player and you restructure your contract. I thought that's what you said. Derrick Henry is back and healthy, and he's going to try to spoil the Tigers' playoff chances. Technically, since I think this is a 1 o'clock game, the Jags don't know that they're out. So, I guess they think they're playing for a playoff spot when they're not. But they think they are. If Huskies win it all, is it a Mickey Mouse win? I guess so. I mean, technically nobody gets the ring. Proud member of the King Henry fan club. 3rd and 4, nice sack by Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. Someone respond in chat, are the Tigers the 1 seed or fighting for a wild card spot? Everyone should say 1 seed just to mess with them. But no, they're obviously fighting for a wild card spot. So now we get to see the Tigers offense. They've got some ball players here. Trevor Lawrence, J.K. Dobbins, Jamison Williams, McCall Hardman, Kayshon Boutte, amongst others. Literally just bought the Series X and Madden 23. W. Although PlayStation's better, but still, W. Yeah, what Nick said is true. If the Tigers win, they're in. If they lose, the Browns jump them, and the Browns are in. Do you need? No, you guys are out. You guys, for all the Pioneers could care, an asteroid could fall in this game. Both teams lose, and they're still not getting in. I would assume. Yeah. Yeah. So this game does not affect. I mean, I guess it affects the Pioneers in draft positioning, but since we don't have another season, that doesn't really matter. Minus the long-term sim. Is Toronto out? We haven't really done much of the NFC games yet. We're doing the AFC first. But after this, we're going to simcast through all the NFC stuff, and then we'll see what happens. I feel like it will make the most sense to do the Vikings game last. I don't know if I can wait that long, but that probably is the most important NFC game of the week. For both teams. Particularly us, but for both teams. Both quarterbacks do look the same. Trevor Lawrence has got the long blonde locks. So does Noah Syverson. Why can't this just be the OFL ball? It's the OFL ball in terms of quarterback hair. 3rd and 7. Trevor Lawrence. For the sideline, it's broken up by, I think, Tre'Davious White? I think he's on he's on this team. Yeah, Trey White's on this team. That'll force a punt, and the Jaguars will get the ball. Trevor Lawrence, Noah Syverson, and I are all triplets. Good work, random Jags DB. I don't think Tre'Davious White is that random, but okay. He did make a good play. I wonder how a guy like Derrick Henry is going to do in watch, because we haven't watched the Jags a ton. I know we've watched them a few times. I remember watching the Jaguars against us a couple seasons ago. I feel like the Jags won, but I don't remember how Derrick Henry did. So I'm curious to see how he does today. I don't know who made the... I mean, it might not be Tre'Davious White. I thought I saw an X Factor under him, but for all we know, maybe it is a random dude. 3rd and 2, Henry gets the play. I'll take an $80 million pay cut if you sign Hector George-Strada to the Knicks. Dump off. I said Duncan Robinson is only here for salary purposes. Obviously, Hector is better for the long term than Duncan Robinson, but the point of having him is to use him as salary filler for like a trade or something. That's the whole reason why I was okay with getting him, even though he's like overpaid and not good. Good catch by DK. These guys, the Jaguars signed a lot of guys in the offseason. Trey White, DK Metcalf. I feel like they have Joey Bosa, too. I think they do. Who's the second worst player? Well, I guess Trevor Keels, but he's on a 2-way contract, so I don't think we can cut him. Or I don't think we can, like... Yeah, I think it's a lot more complicated than that. And then all the other players are either good or rookies. Good, like, subjectively. Like, I don't know if you count Emmanuel quickly as good, but, like, good enough. Yeah, I think they do have Joey Bosa, but they play him at outside linebacker, and they run a 4-3. So, they have Joey Bosa, but they're not using him correctly. The guy who made the play was actually a fan. There you go. Diehard Jaguars fan, Tre'Davious White. That kind of has a ring to it. Syverson takes a shot deep on third down. Nobody covers the receiver, and that's a touchdown for DK. I assume, yeah, DK Metcalf. Who covered him? Not Tre'Davious White, I'll tell you that. Booth review. Ooh, this could change something. Hold on. Noah Syverson did put a little too much juice. Is DK in? I think so. Yeah, he's in. It's a little hard to tell, but I think he's in. Call him Kim Jong-un because he's watching nukes. Yeah, I had a feeling the play was going to stand. I think that's the right call. He's in. Where's the Jags mascot in a Speedo? The Jags mascot is tormenting himself to Jags Lions highlights from last week. He's watching James Houston skip in midair getting to the backfield. Wonder how much DK is packing. At least 6 or 7, right? Gotta think. Who would you take in a fight, you or Danny? Well, you're an offensive lineman, so I feel like by default, probably you. Hey, are we wrong? Am I wrong? I mean, let's be real here with DK. Let's be real. Good thing we don't have all those horny teenagers from the chat last night in here to see that, because yikes. N'Keal Harry has 75 catches this year. I didn't even realize N'Keal Harry was on the Tigers. But N'Keal Harry's been kind of good for a while. He had that one really good year with the Aviators before they turned to OFL legend Sam Laporta. Set an example. None of those guys are here right now, I assume, because I don't think most of them are in the league, so they're not going to know I said that. You were too shiesty in a fight. One of too shiesty or 3 of him? Wink, wink, if you know, you know. If not, you will soon. An offensive lineman, defensive lineman, linebacker. Isn't it defensive line? Oh, you said defensive tackle. Oh, I thought you said defensive lineman and defensive end. Like, isn't that the same thing? But yeah, you said tackle. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of things. O-line, front 7, special teamer. Can't forget about the special teams, kids. Finished my finals strong C's. They're strong though, so that's what we're looking for. Strong. I'm the black Deebo Samuel. What does that make Deebo Samuel? Is that a run or a pass? I think they're going to count that a run. Yeah. Danny or Vatchen in a fight? That's a good question. I'm going to pick or. Do you know how I can make a special teams unit in Madden 23? Unfortunately, the game doesn't make special teams like that important, other than kickers and punters and long snappers, which is stupid. There should be like a gunner position and all that. Like, make Matthew Slater good in Madden, goddammit. Or I guess in our case, let Jameson Williams do that. Luka versus the game's fight to the death. Can I pick neither? I'd love to see all the horny 14-year-olds we have in like one boxing ring just to see what happens. Like all 8 of them or however many it is. That would be an interesting experience. Wait, why is J.K. Dobbins not getting these carries? Why is like the white dude getting carries? Hector or Octi in a fight? Well, considering you're an offensive lineman, probably you. I'm not that, like, cocky or strong. Lawrence with a good throw and a touchdown for, is that Nicole Hardman, I think? Yep. 7-7. Octi or Nick? Well, Nick has said he's short, so I guess me by default, right? Someone took my TV from, from your dorm room. Okay. Then I found it in their closet, and they said they did not steal it. Well, it sounds like they stole it, I would think. What's your back squat? What? I don't squat. Don't say me, because I know y'all are children. I don't want to think about beating up 14-year-olds. I don't think most of us in here are 14. I know Hector's a youngin'. But I think this is the more mature group. I don't think I would easily 100% do it. I mean, I'm not that strong. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Wrote a report on them. They had 3 accusations for peeping on people in showers. I read that as peeing on people first. Not that peeping is much better. Imagine someone peeing on people in the shower. Not that peeping's better. Hector, yeah, no, most of those kids make Hector look normal. 3rd and 6, nice sack from Micah Parsons. Yeah, mature, squint's eyes, real mature. Aiden said he would kick me in the balls if I pull up those. Doesn't he live in, like, Scranton? I mean, it's not that far. I don't know exactly how close Denmark is to me, so maybe Denmark's even closer. I don't know exactly where he lives. But I guess that means I'm in, like, the general vicinity of the famous shed. Imagine if I'm, like, randomly on, like, the highway one day and I see a super big shed. All I'll have to think to myself is, I know who that is. The games would win already because he has a chip on his shoulder because he's Jewish. What? Okay. Denmark lives in a medieval castle. He would. With water slides in his bedroom, right? Doesn't he have water slides in his bedroom? Or something like that? Means he won't take no more disrespect. Oh boy. What if his team gets disrespected in the first round of the playoffs by the Broncos? 3rd and 3. Good throw. That's, I think, Keyshawn Butte, who's out of bounds inside the 10. You should randomly pull up to Denmark's shed. That'd be funny if one day, like, instead of what if one day I made my upload for the day me going to Denmark's shed? That would be something. I mean, again, I don't think Denmark's that far away. He has 10 5-star chefs. Yeah, the upload for the day can be me touring his mansion. And then I can do a 24-hour challenge in his shed. That sounds like a fun upload, I'm not even gonna lie. You may need to do that. What is your record? You guys are 8-8. You're not out of the playoffs, but you have you need a lot to happen. Octia, Arizona when? Probably never. Arizona's like kind of far away, whereas Denmark's shed is kind of not far away. I'm becoming the new Mr. Beast. We're gonna have what we're gonna do for the OFL Bowl this year is we're gonna have everybody come up to Denmark's shed, and we're all gonna watch the game on the screen. That's what we're gonna do for the final OFL 22 OFL Bowl. Are you guys making the playoffs? If the Tigers lose this game, then yes. If they win this game, then no. So the Browns need the Jaguars to win. Why can't I leave your basement yet? Because I said so. That's it, I'm skipping. Let's make a hype house. That seems like a great idea considering most of you guys are children. I don't think I could legally do that. Nor would I really want to. That'd be... Yikes. Denmark probably has as many bathrooms at his house as Russell Wilson does touchdowns. I mean, we know Russell Wilson has more bathrooms than touchdowns. Maybe Denmark does too. 14 is a child. Before you're 18, you're a child. By law. Even if you're like a big child. Who is Jeffrey Epstein? You don't need to know that. 3rd and 5, good play for the Jags. If I don't make the playoffs, I'm rooting for the Beats because they have Tucson, Lezen, Bijan Robinson. Noah Syverson has like no command for the pocket at all. He seems like he has no clue what to do, and any defensive lineman's in like the near vicinity. I'll be at the D-back Stadium on the 27th. Let's meet up. I'll have candy. You got it in your white van? A house with you, Nick, Apple, Hector, and Octi would be toxic. That would not... A year? I don't know if that would last a week. Did he get it? The Tigers called a timeout. I don't think he got it. Octi meet and greet when? I don't know. They did not get it. And the Jags are going to punt. I mean, you have Derrick Henry on your team. Flag! Flag! Oh, whoa! This could change things. I don't think it's going to change things. Okay. They're just backed up at the 9. What a penalty, I guess, because he punted it to the 17. So instead of what a punt, it's a what a penalty. Trevor Lawrence has got to watch out for the safety. Sacked in the end zone. He got tripped up by his own lineman. I'll be the joke. Yeah, I'll also be like the only adult, I would assume. So, every team he goes for is absolutely balls. I think the funny thing about that is, of the 5 of us, the Lions are probably the best team of the group. They're better than the Falcons, they're better than the Browns, they're better than the Colts, and they're better than the Cardinals. So, technically all of our teams would be balls, but ours would just be a little bit less. Imagine Sundays. Yeah, really. That'd be pretty depressing. The Lions are not... Have you been watching? The Lions are favored against Minnesota for a reason. The Lions are absolutely better than the Falcons. That's not me being biased. That's, like, true. Arizona, I think, is a little more debatable, but, I mean, we're favored against Minnesota. We've won 4 of our last 5 games, so, I mean, we're playing pretty damn well. Even if the Vikings are probably better than the Lions, Vegas seems to think we're pretty even. And the Vikings are pretty fraudulent. Why are they running up the middle with no timeouts? That's pretty stupid. Can I be added to this group? I think the only people who are allowed to be in the group have like bad teams. Nuke Hopkins would run. I'm sure DeAndre Hopkins will play well. DeAndre Hopkins is pretty darn good. But, I mean, our defense has been above average since like the start of November. I mean, we have 2 good starting corners. We have 2 good starting safeties. And Tracy Walker, who's hurt, that doesn't even count him. 1 target for Jameson Williams all season. What a bust. Yeah, it's not like he's played 5 snaps. Totally not. Who starts football? The Tigers do. Okay. Remember when you and your boys were going to buy a nice crib, start a YouTube, and be rich? Hey, I lived up to my part of the deal. The boys didn't, but I did. I did what I needed to. Here's a big run from the white guy whose name I still don't know. Chubb running for what? I'm sure he would. Nick Chubb is really good. But our run defense has also been really good. Travis Etienne did nothing last week. Saquon Barkley had like less than 2 yards a carry when we played them 3 weeks ago. Who else have we beaten on our win streak? Aaron Jones, I feel like, was kind of mid against us. The Bills don't really have a run game, although Devin Singletary was actually, ironically, kind of good. And now we're probably going to shut down Dalvin Cook, if all goes well. Here's the thing. Travis Etienne's been balling the last, 2 months. He had a bad fumble early, but he really didn't do, that much. Because Nick Chubb's obviously better, but I mean, Travis Etienne's a top 12 running back in the league at this point. I mean, I don't think that can really be argued. He's certainly a top 16. Obviously, the Jags defense isn't all that great, but our offense statistically has been really good all year. Last week, they just happened to be really good. The Jags could really use a stop right about now. If the Tigers kick a field goal, it's technically only a one-score game. Gain of 2, 3rd and 3, big play. Can the Jags defense get a stop? What happens if they tie? If they tie, then the Browns get in. So, yeah, because the Tigers have 9 wins, and the Browns have 10. So, if the Tigers lose, or if the Tigers tie, then the Browns would still pass them. Big stop. You know, the Tigers could rationalize going for it. I honestly kind of would. And they're not, yeah. How long before we disband? That's a big group of people. I mean, I guess most of that group probably is eventually going to college in a few years, so probably pretty quickly it would disband, I would think. I would be in prison. Oh, okay. There you go. Drew Sanders exists in real life. Yeah, he declared for the draft in real life, so he might. I think he's supposed to be a pretty high pick, possibly first or second rounder. So he is very real. Plus me, the leader of the group. Oh, okay, that'll make it go well. Good job by Syverson to break the sack. Yeah, it seems like that house wouldn't last long. If Hector being threatened to get knocked out, and then murder threats apparently. You can't. You're an adult. I mean, I guess that's true. He's not wrong. Who's worse? Who's Lowell? Is that the guy who said the anti-Semitic thing? I mean, I guess that's worse than anything Omni said, but Omni's a repeat offender. So, I would say they're both pretty bad. Not if RMP murders you first. Jesus Christ. Yeah, at least Omni's not anti-Semitic. I mean, for all we know, he could be, but not going to assume. Micah Parsons with the sack. Omni changed for real this time. Well, good for him, I guess. Good. I'm happy for him. I don't know. No. If you add Omni, I'm gone. You get one of those, or yeah, you're not getting both. Why did Syverson go short? Watch them kick. Okay, they're punting. They got to get a stop here, though. The Browns' season depends on it. I don't care how old he is. I'm beating out up Omni. Good. Do it. Take the charge. We'll all collectively bail you out. I speak for all of us when I say, do it and take our money. Omni's probably 10. That'd be funny if he was, because I've known that kid for 5 years. So that would imply that we first knew him when he was 5 or 6. Yeah, I would assume he's not that young. Although he acts like it. Trevor Lawrence goes deep. Nope. Incomplete. Can the Jags get a stop here? Biggest play of the Tigers and Browns season might be right now. Bonk! Off his helmet. Receiver should have been ready for that ball. You guys met me fresh out of 6th grade. That means you're a pedo. Does that mean Chris Hansen's going to barge into my house? Oh, great. Woohoo. Is that a bunch of cameras I see outside? Is that Chris Hansen walking up to the door? What's happening? I think we can all agree that Omni has probably changed. I mean, I would hope he's changed a little bit, but from the, like, 5 years of interaction I had with that kid. Not really. Maybe he has within the past couple months. I don't know. Then I don't really care to know. What are you doing if Omni decides to break in your house and deletes my save file? That'd be an odd thing to do. Why would he care about deleting my save? If he comes to my house, wouldn't he want to either hurt me or, like, rob me? Wouldn't he think to do that before deleting my save file? Octi is known to be since 5th grade. That's a felony. Alright, Chris Hansen's walking up. It's nice knowing you guys. Has Octi ever gotten mad at you? I don't know. What reason would I have to get mad? Unless you, like, did something. I'm not going to get mad at you for sweeping me. If you beat me, then you beat me. Look at Cyberson moving around the pocket. Oh, it was caught. I thought he was trying to throw it to DK. When DK was running the other way, I was very confused for a second. That'll wrap up the third quarter. The Tigers are winning, but the Jags are making some noise. They're only down by 8. Just had a huge play. And now they have the ball at the 12th. So they need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and they can tie the game. Been seeing a lot of Chris Hansen at the Browns game recently. Not sure why. That's a good question. But the 4's up. What do you do if me, Nick, and RMP just barged into your room and threw your PS5 into a very big pool? Why would it take 3 of you to do that? First off, I would be a little bit concerned if it takes 3 of you to hold up a PS5. I mean, it's not that heavy. I mean, it's not light, but I would hope one of you could throw it into a pool. After that, then, could I sue for that? Probably. There's no way that's legal, even if you're just children. So, I guess I'd be confused why it took 3 of you, and then I would sue. And then I'd have to make a channel update. Hey, guys, so my roommates just threw my PS5 into a pool. Oh, that was 4th down. Oh. Well, that's kind of a big deal. Nick's going to be my bodyguard. There you go. You can get them arrested, but it's not sue-worthy. I guess that works, too. So now the Jaguars need another stop. They brought it all the way inside the 10. But the Tigers' defense gets a goal line stand. Cyberson trying to be the next Hector. You would definitely try to throw hands. I don't really know. I feel like I'm the last person to throw hands, even if my PlayStation gets thrown into a pool. There's a good little throw to the white running back, whose name I still don't know. But he's playing better than Christian McCaffrey did on this team. So, seems like they've upgraded in terms of white running backs. L. Marshall, that's his name. I don't know his first name. His first name's probably like Luke or something. He just gives off Luke vibes. Yeah, we're going to call him Luke, even if his name isn't Luke. I guess we can find out his name here. What is it? His name is Luke! I knew it. I've never seen that guy in my life, and I still knew his first name. Luke Marshall. What a guy. I mean, that's as white as it gets, right? You're the coach of the team in the Super Bowl. You're at your own 40. Would you rather be throwing the ball Hector to Jamison Crowder or Kyler Murray to Rondale Moore? Probably Hector to Jamison Crowder, because we've seen what happens with that before, at least in a Hail Mary situation, so probably that. I'd rather do that than have 2 Smurfs throwing and catching the ball. The games and the games. Well, hopefully the games' team is in coverage. That'll also help our chances. The Jaguars' defense is laying an egg. It's not looking good for the Browns right now. Yeah, Chester is pretty white, too. Lawrence goes deep. Incomplete. I thought there might have been a flag. I think it's a good no call, but I thought maybe the game would call one. Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs or Hector to Mike Evans? Well, of course Hector to Mike Evans. I mean, Hector's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. Third and 1. Scuda to Tack Shoddy. Better than Chipper and Fraud to Corvette Boy. Chip and Fraud and Corvette Boy won a chip. I don't think Scuda and Tack even made a playoff game. So, I'm just saying, let's calm down here. I think we've got our answer. Tigers are chewing clock. We'll see if Luke, everybody's favorite white boy, can finish it off and punch the Tigers' ticket into the playoffs. They are in field goal range, so worst comes to worst. Unless they turn the ball over, it looks like they'll be fine. There's Luke. Did the tiebreak? Yeah, so unless the game pulls a fast one on us, which I guess is possible, then it looks like the Patriots will be 6, and the Tigers will be 7, and the Browns will be out. They responding to what I commented. An OFL Hype House, who are you kicking out for? So, like, Survivor style? We're going to play Survivor in the OFL Hype House? Who am I kicking out first? That's a good question. Well, if Omni's there, I think that's pretty obvious. If not, I don't know. I mean, I don't dislike anyone. Jags have to burn these timeouts. Browns did all that to miss the playoffs. Now 3rd and goal. They kind of need a fumble. That's not a fumble. The white boy, Luke Marshall, is in for a touchdown, and the Tigers lead at 24-9. We should kick out Octi and Spolk. Why? Why us? What did we do? It's not a sim. There's still minute 49. It's still a 15-point game. If Jimmy Jackson was a real person, I would tell me. I read that so weird. I read that in 3rd person, but in 1st person. But yeah, I don't think Jimmy Jackson's real. Are you out of the race? No, but you need some things to happen. Cut me so I can play in the playoffs. Get IT his ring. Have him curse another team. Or help another team. Tusheisty and Luca. What do those guys have in common? 2nd and 7. Syverson goes deep. Oh! That's a catch. That's a pretty good catch. Tusheisty, Hector, DeGames, and Luca. There's something about those 4 people that is just special. Put all 4 of them in a room. See what happens. 30 seconds left. Syverson with a strike for DK. That was a good drive by the Jags. It might be too little too late, though. They're still going to need a 2-point conversion at some point. It won't be here. That's if they get the ball back, which means they're going to need an onside kick. All right, this is it to determine who gets the final wild card spot in the AFC. An onside kick. If the Jags get it, then Cleveland still has a shot. And if the Tigers get it, then the Tigers are getting the playoff spot. And it's quickly scooped up by, I think, Keyshawn Butte. And this game is over. The Tigers are in. The Browns are out, bearing something weird from EA, which, again, I wouldn't put it past them. But I'd kick myself. I'm engaged. The games will just call me a Nazi fascist. He would call all you guys that. Trevor Lawrence, with the season on the line, did very well, as did Noah Syverson. I feel like Noah Syverson didn't make big throws consistently, but 144 passer rating is pretty darn good. The white boy Luke Marshall did his thing, 5'11", 232, big guy. You know who else is a big guy? This fella, 6'3", 247. Luke Marshall led the game in catches as well, because he apparently is that dude. All right, so we think we know the AFC playoff picture, and I'm pretty sure it's just the same order that the AFC was in going into the week. Kayshon Butte, same thing. Butte sounds cooler, although I guess Booty is also kind of cool. I wish my name was Booty. Shout out John David Booty and General Booty. So if everything is correct, then the final seeding will be this. What it was going into the week for the AFC. As for the NFC, I think we'll see more movement. I think we'll see a lot of movement. So we have 6 games to go through. Let's start with the games that matter for seeding. The Rams and the Niners. Let's start... Or no, the Rams are going for a wild card spot. Okay, scratch that. Let's start with the Niners. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2. 1. I guess technically, the Niners and Bats could jump up to 1 if the Panthers lost. So, technically the Niners could get anywhere between 1 and 7, but they've also already won their division. EA just hasn't said it, but they did. So, really, it's anywhere between 1 and 4. It really wouldn't be that. It wouldn't. I don't think it would help either us or the Bears if the Rams won. I don't see how that would really help us. Because if the Rams lose and you guys win, you guys could jump the Rams. So I don't know how that would help you guys. So they don't. So if they have the tiebreaker over you, that means the Rams are going to be higher no matter what. So if they win, then they'll be ahead of you, and if they lose, I guess they'd be ahead of you. So, does it really matter then? What do we think about Lost and Unbound being back? Seeing that in my notifications was a good shock for like 2 minutes. But hopefully he's doing well. Because he said some deep stuff throughout that video. Wow, the Niners are dominating, which I guess is to be expected. The Chiefs are pretty cheeks. Looks like the Niners should be able to hold on. The previous 2 OFL Bowl losers, by the way. The Niners lost last year. The Chiefs lost the year before. And the Niners get the win. So, if it wasn't already official, it's now official. San Francisco has won the division. We'll see what seed they end up getting. It could be 4. It could be hypothetically 1. Nick Chubb was pretty darn good. As for the Chiefs, how many wins do they have? 2, I think? 2 or 3. They're pretty bad. Okay, so now every game left has implications for the NFC wild card. You've got the teams currently in, Atlanta, the Rams, and the Vikings, and then you've got teams like the Bears, the Huskies, the Black Knights. Let's start with the teams who are on the outside. So Toronto, the Giants, I didn't even mention the Giants, London. Okay, so we'll do those 3 games next. Huskies is 1, London is 2, Giants is 3. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 3. 1, that's the Huskies. Give me a number between 1 and 2. 1 again, that's the Dolphins. So the Dolphins are now out because, well, they needed a lot not the Falcons. The Dolphins needed a lot to happen, and they needed to win, and the things they needed to happen did not happen, so it doesn't really matter if they win. As for the Huskies, they're in the same boat. The thing is, we haven't really gone through most of the NFC games yet, so they still have a shot. But they need to win, and they need some stuff to happen. Green and orange. I guess that'd probably be home, and then orange. What a weird combo. This is goofy. I mean, I guess we'll roll with it. And then gray. Yeah, that one. Green and orange. What do we think of the green and orange, guys? I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, it's creative. I don't know if I'd be able to watch a whole game with it, but we'll rock with it. Lenny time. Yeah, everybody in the NFC playoff race, the Bears, the Giants, and the Black Knights especially, are definitely rooting for the Dolphins. Even the 9-win teams like us, the Rams, and the Falcons, it would help us if the Dolphins won. So fins up, baby. I did not mean to click that one. I want this. New England and Chicago. Oh, the Tigers. I thought you meant the Bears for a second. I was like, what? But yeah, the Chicago Tigers are in. Lenny out of Friends University. Kwity Paye is hurt, and the Huskies' playoff chances look hurt, although it's not over. Let's go slower. The Dolphins had the ball in opposing territory. Good. Miami's looking good. Okay, we're going to hop it. 7-point game, 3 minutes to go. Everybody in the NFC playoff. Wow, this jersey combo really is weird. But again, I guess we'll rock with it. I feel like on the field, the green jerseys and the orange pants aren't that bad. I'm not even going to lie. In the jersey screen, it looked horrible. But here, it doesn't look that bad. Have we watched the Dolphins? I don't think we had this year. We did a lot last year. But I don't think we had this year. Partly because we have less watch games this year. Because we're doing 4 weeks of stream instead of 2. So, we're cutting back on watch games. The gray on blue versus the green on orange looks trippy. So many different colors at once. Not to mention the Dolphins have white helmets. So there's so many different colors. It does look weird. 2 minutes to go. Toronto's season on the line. You've watched me 0 times. Well, we're going to simcast you in like a few minutes. So I guess technically that's 1. Lenny Edwards breaks the sack. Good play. By Friends University's finest, Lenny Edwards. It isn't an OFL without having a Friends University quarterback. Now they get it to the 11th with Claypool. Minute to go. Can Toronto punch it in and tie it? Not on that play. A big sack for Nick Bosa. His 3rd. I think he's broken the sack record because he had 20 going into the day. No, he's not going to get number 4. He almost did. I'm feeling like I hate it right now. Go Huskies. I mean, even if the Huskies win, they still need some stuff to happen. 3rd and 8. Short throw completed, but not for a first down. Yeah, if you want chaos, you're probably rooting for the Huskies. But since my team might be directly affected, then I don't want them to win. Picked off in the end zone. This game is over. Why did he take it out? That was stupid. By 35. I don't know who that is. Is that Minka? No, it's Faruqi Caldwell. So the Huskies have 3 timeouts, but there's also 8 seconds. So, unless they get like a safety, which is not going to happen. So the Dolphins win 28-21. The Huskies are out, and that just leaves more room for these teams like London and the Giants and the Bears to do something surprising. That was an ugly throw for Lenny, who was pretty good today, as was Jeff Sims. I low-key hate you. What did I do? Dolphins should have told the Vikings. Yeah, if Jeff Sims fumble it, that sounds great. 3 sacks for Bosa. That's right. He was 23. Actually, did he break the sack record? I feel like we had someone have 24 last year. Didn't DeMarcus Lawrence have like 24? Dolphins are natural predators of Huskies. What? Dolphins are in the ocean. I don't think Huskies live near the ocean. You wanted to see Jeff Sims kneel. Well, I apologize. So does Nick Bosa have the sack record or not? I don't know. Does he? No, we had Shaq Barrett and Myles Garrett get 24. I thought Ogba broke the sack record at one point. We've had 5 different people do it. 4 years in a row, somebody's broken the sack record. Actually, no, the math ain't mathin'. No one did in 2024. But the other years, in year 1, Ogba did it. Year 2, Garrett and Barrett. The Diablo duo, I miss them in Mexico City. Last year it was Lawrence. This year it was Bosa. All right, what are we going to do next? The London game or the Giants game? Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2. 2. That is the Giants. Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2. 1. Boston. We're losing to Andy Morrison. Well, I'll tell you this. If Andy Morrison plays like he did, who am I looking for? I'm looking for... Oh, I'm not usering the bats. Oh, I forgot about that, so I have to user the Giants. That's right. Because the game won't let me user 32 teams for whatever odd reason. So, yeah, I'm not usering the bats. So, wait, no, I still can pick their jerseys, right? Yeah, I can pick their jerseys regardless, because they're not a user. That's the whole point. Not that it really matters, because neither coach is here. So, we'll move through it quickly. Siri, give me... Yeah, well, didn't you suggest that we should do different numbers? We'll do that for the next game. How about that? The next game we'll do 2 totally different numbers. To switch it up. Alright, so this is the situation for this game. The Bats have won their division. They're playing for seeding. If they lose, I think they get 4. If they win, then I guess they could go up a little bit. I don't know how far. But they would get at least 3, I would think. If the Giants lose, they're out. If they win, they're maybe in. For all of the teams who were rooting for the Dolphins in the last game, you're rooting for the Bats, and the Bats are not doing their part, which is not good for us. Actually, I don't really think it affects my team that much. Yeah, I don't think it really matters. I think the only team that affects us getting in is us. Yeah, so I guess this doesn't really matter for our team. Maybe for London and the Bears, it sucks. Sorry for you guys. But the Vikings are in the weird spot where none of the other games matter except for their own. If they lose, they're out. If they win, they're in. Hello, Max. 6 touchdowns. Cooper Coakley was good, as was CeeDee Lamb. Holy hell, he had a day. Yeah, all the Vikings have to do is win and we're in. And then if we lose, we can't go higher than 7. And the Bears would automatically pass us because they have the tiebreaker and they had the same record. So if we lose, we cannot be any higher than 8th. So it does not matter what happens in any other game for the Vikings. I guess for seeding it does, but to get into the playoffs, our game is the only one that matters. Imagine not already being clinched. Be quiet. Okay, so we're doing the London game next. Siri, give me a number between 68 and 69. Yes, Siri picked 69. Let's go. That is London. London's in the same situation as the Giants, with the only difference being they're playing a much worse team. So if London loses, they're done. If they win, then maybe. Nebraska fan talking is... Auburn fan talking is crazy, too. Ooh, rainy. Rainy day here in London. Are those the Queen's Tears? Although, how would those be the Queen's Tears? Because she's 6 feet under. I fail to see what that has to do with a Madden sim. He makes a point. That does have nothing to do with a Madden sim. Did Washington miss their kick? Because I think they scored a touchdown. Yeah, they missed their kick. Let's see if that ends up mattering. London's up. Washington with a field goal. Let's move a little slower. 3rd and 1. They don't get it. Okay, so Washington has a chance to tie it. This is going to be my last chance to watch my longtime quarterback, Malik Willis. I'm going to enjoy this. I want to see Malik Willis score. I should have expected nothing less. Willis is picked off on the first play of the drive by Marshawn Lattimore. Mediocre Malik strikes again. That's the Malik Willis I know from Minnesota. And now London can win the game. See, this is why London finally invested in corners. It took them 4 years to have a cornerback higher than a 70 overall, but they finally paid a guy in Marshawn Lattimore, And looky here, he saves their season. And now they're going to finish it with not just a first down run, but nearly a touchdown. Okay, we can start Simon. That interception, I mean, he wasn't that bad in OFL 22. He threw for like a bazillion yards this year with Washington. Malik Willis has had some good moments in Minnesota. He just also had some bad ones. What's going on here? Oh, the game's over. Okay. So London does their job. They are now 9-8, and they still need some things to happen. Score, throw a hideous interception. Same thing, right? Totally. Describe our season. Pretty good. You guys went 12-5. I don't know. That's pretty good. What was not pretty good was Malik Willis at the end of the game throwing a pick. That was not pretty good. You act like it was my fault, but EA gave... Well, you should have signed corners. Signed more. I don't know. You had 4 off seasons to figure it out. You did get unlucky, but you had 4 off seasons to figure. You could have drafted someone. There's been some good corners in the draft. How's your season been a disappointment? You guys won like 8 games last year, and this year you won 12. I'm on break. What's happened? You guys won, so you're going to be at least the 4 seed. But with the Bats and the Lions losing, you could go up to 2 and maybe 1, depending on what happens with Carolina. So we're going to do the Vikings and Bears for last. That game's the most important because both teams still have a shot. We'll do the Rams game because that game is less important because Seattle's not playing for anything. Siri, pick a number between 233 and 234. 233, that is Seattle. This is fun. I like doing different numbers. Why didn't we think of this earlier? Nickinator, I hate this game. Yeah, that's been the kind of day it is for the Browns. So Cleveland won their game at the beginning of the stream. They played a bad team. They rolled over them. But the 2 teams they needed to lose both won. So, barring EA doing something stupid, the Browns are going to be out. Let's go Panthers. Yes. London, the Giants, the Falcons, the Bears. You guys are all, you're all rooting for the Panthers and you're all rooting for the Seahawks. Again, for the Vikings, none of the other games matter for the Vikings. None. I guess I'm rooting for the Rams for the DJ agenda, but if they lose, that means more chaos, and I like chaos. And if the Rams lose, we can go up and seed. I mean, I'd rather play the Bats than, like, the Niners. So, I guess go Seahawks. I'd rather be the 5 seed than the 7 seed. AFC champ is Mickey Mouse. Well, the Rams are handling business so far. DJ Uiagalelei is playing quite well. Remember, if the Rams win, they are in no matter what. And it looks like the Rams are in. So we have our first NFC wildcard spot clinched. The Rams are going to get in. The Seahawks scored right at the end, though. That's cool. But they still lose. What an odd OFL 22 cycle for the Seattle Seahawks as it now comes to a close. I mean, Seattle technically has been more successful than anybody. They won 2 OFL Bowls, but the past 3 years, they've been horrible. I would be willing to bet Seattle's all-time OFL 22 record is well under 500, but they have 2 rings. Seattle's never lost a playoff game. So, oh wait, no, they did. They made the playoffs in year 3 and lost. Yeah, they were the 2 seed, I think, in year 3. They lost in the playoffs to, I think, New Orleans, and then everything. They've won like 5 games since then. Maybe not 5, but not a lot. So maybe they're not under 500 because they've been like the 2 seed 3 years. So maybe I over-exaggerated. Has Kyler gotten carries? He's gotten a little bit, and he's been pretty bad. So I want coach stats. I want to see Seattle's record. Who has the most wins? If the Pioneers do, of course they do. The Pioneers have the most wins and 0 playoff wins. And as do the Tigers. Oh yeah, the Tigers are 0-4. They've lost every year. That's funny. These are some mid teams at the top. But we want the Seahawks. What is the Seahawks coach's name? I don't remember. It's this guy. Oh, they are under 500. But they're 7-1 in the playoffs. Nobody else has more than 5 wins, which is Dublin. I guess Dublin made the AFC Championship twice. I guess that's not really a surprise. Leave it to RMP to find a way to win 2 OFL Bowls and still finish the cycle under 500. All right, let's do Carolina and Atlanta. Siri, give me a number between 5,348 and 5,349. 5,349. That is Atlanta. So if Carolina wins, they get the 1 seed. If Atlanta wins, they clinch a playoff spot. So, for our sake of seeding and whatnot, go Panthers. The Panthers could still lose and get the 1 seed. This game is more important for Atlanta, but it's still very important for the Panthers as well. Obviously, they would rather the 1 seed than the 2 seed because 2 seeds are cursed in this league. 6-9, 6-9, or 420, 420. Let's see if Brady Boatwell can lead his team to a playoff spot. If Atlanta loses, they're probably out. With both the Giants and the Black Knights winning, Atlanta can still get in with a loss, but they would need a lot to happen. They would need some sort of tiebreakers. Do 112 next time. Okay, I'll do 112. I'm kind of nervous about our game. I have a very sinking feeling about it. All right, Panthers, keep it up. Okay, good. Not good. Kind of good. Not good. Let's hop in, actually. I shouldn't have let it go that long. So we're at the 2-minute warning. They're kicking a 55-yard field goal to take the lead. I guess you got to kick here. I don't think you can rationalize going for it. I think he got it. Yes, he did. The Panthers take a 2-point lead with under 2 minutes to go. Has Boatwell improved his accuracy? Actually, I kind of want to see that now. What is his accuracy ratings? He's an 86 overall. He's pretty good. Not as good as Bryce Young, but still pretty good. What are his accuracy ratings? That's route running. 97, 92, 56 isn't so good. But the rest of his stats are pretty good. Outside of his deep accuracy, the rest of his numbers are all across the board pretty solid. He has developed throughout OFL 22. Has he been on like 3 different teams? Yes, but he's not horrible. Brady Goatwell. That actually fits so well. Why have we never called him that? We've had him in the league since season 1. It's not like he's new. Cordell Banks going to have a day. He's going to have a day on the ground when Myles Garrett sacks him 4 times. Brady has become what Bakker originally wanted him to be. Yeah. I mean, it's worked out for Bakker because Joe Burrow's probably an MVP candidate and the Beats are 14-3. So I would say it's worked out for everybody. Brady Boatwell's developed and the Beats are really good. Seems like a win-win. The only loser might be the Pioneers because they traded away Joe Burrow. Not that Jerome Diggs is bad, but I would rather Joe Burrow than Jerome Diggs. 3rd and 3, check down. Gets the first. Time for this Elite D on paper to get shredded for no reason because EA. Watch Brady Boatwell throw a deep ball with his 60 deep accuracy. That'd be funny. You traded for Boatwell and traded him again. Yeah, then he wasn't anywhere else, was he? He was with the Beats, then the Niners for like a minute, and then Atlanta. Was that the order, or did he go somewhere else? Because I don't remember him anywhere else, but he might have been for all I know, because the Niners have changed quarterbacks like 50 times. Has Jaden Jackson lived up to the Heisman status? Not really. He hasn't been horrible, but he's been kind of mid. I guess that's what happens when you have normal dev, but he was a really high rating for a rookie. And I think he was only 20. That should have been picked. Falcons kicker warming up. Spencer Stevenson. But they've got to get this 4th down conversion here if they want to hear his name. This might be it. Atlanta's season might be on the line. And I say might because they're not officially out with a loss, but they're probably out. 4th and 6. He got it. Good throw by Boatwell. Come on, Carolina. Can you guys please stop him? Please. Please. Please turn the ball over. Please. Did he catch that? He caught that. Brady Boatwell just hit a deep ball. Oh, my Lord. Atlanta's going to win. It looks like we're going to be the 7th seed if we win, which is obviously a lot easier said than done. Yeah, he's got it. That's a touchdown. Who's 89? I don't know, but he just probably put Atlanta in the playoffs. All right, Carolina has 3 timeouts. They only have 25 seconds, and they need a touchdown. But they have 3 timeouts. 56 accuracy, you mean 99. 49ers 1 seed. It is, I guess it's possible, yeah. We should play the Vikings game. That game got the least amount of votes. Wow, good return. Good stuff. But our game got the least amount of votes, which is unfortunate because it was probably the most important game of the week. But at least we get to rip the Band-Aid off, although I guess we've been prolonging it for 2 hours, but we don't have to watch the full game and have one of our hearts get ripped out. Or both. I mean, there's a world where both us and the Bears don't get in. If we win, we're in, and if we lose, then maybe one of us gets in, maybe one of us doesn't. All right, Bryce, show me what you got. Bryce chucks it deep for the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown with seconds to go by whoever number 11 is. That wasn't even a Hail Mary. That was just a chuck it up, hope I get lucky, and he got pretty darn lucky. Wow, with 5 seconds left, Carolina clinches the 1 seed on a laser to the end zone by Bryce Young. Seriously, who caught that? Jalen Tolbert, South Alabama's finest. From all of us competing for NFC wildcard spots or hoping for seeding or whatever, thank you, Carolina. They don't get the 2, though. Not that it really matters. I don't think Atlanta's going to have time for a field goal. Atlanta's in Hail Mary or bust mode. Jalen Tolbert has been low-key good, as has Jalen Reagor. Justin Jefferson's like this team's 3rd best receiver. Are they going to have enough time to run a Hail Mary? Yeah, with 1 second. I was wondering why he cocked it back so over-dramatically. Whenever they do that, that means they're usually going deep. Brady Boatwell has a strong arm, but his deep accuracy is really bad. I don't even know if that matters for a Hail Mary. Okay, and that play it sure did. Incomplete. The Panthers clinched the 1 seed, and Atlanta might be out. Wow, what an ending. Oh, my goodness. We're sending flowers and gifts to Carolina. Somebody's probably going to jump Atlanta now. Whether it's the Bears, if they win, or the Black Knights, or the Giants, one of those teams has to send flowers to Atlanta. And Atlanta to Carolina. And if we win, then this helps us with seeding. So it's not as helpful for us as, say, like London or the Giants or whoever, but still helpful. Back, what did you miss? A lot. Go back like a minute. And, yeah, you missed a lot. Not if we win Octi, but when. Let's not get too confident. Brady Boatwell played really well. Bryce Young, only 1 touchdown, but it was kind of a big one to clinch the 1 seed for the Panthers. This is very good for you guys, yes. You guys needed Atlanta to lose. So it's still, you still need some tiebreakers, but it's a lot more likely you guys get in. Imagine telling us before the start of OFL 22 that Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Reagor would be 10 times better than Justin Jefferson. And here we are. I guess the Panthers' key to being a good wide receiver is that your name is Jalen. Maybe they need to trade for Jalen Waddle next. That touchdown was worth like 4 touchdowns in principle. The best games are always the ones that you miss. Okay, then leave for like 2 minutes, please. Actually, don't. I don't want our game to be dramatic. I just want to finish them off. Siri, give me a number between 112 and 113. 113. We will be using the Bears. Oh boy, I'm nervous. If the Bears win, they are not guaranteed to get in the playoffs, but they will pass us. So that means we would be out, and the Bears have 1 less team to deal with the tiebreaker for. If the Vikings win, then we are in the playoffs, which hurts the chances for teams like Atlanta and the Black Knights and the Giants. So if we win, we get the 6th seed, and we would play probably Detroit or San Francisco. All right, here we go. Our season's on the line. The final regular season game in OFL 22, and one of the most important ones. The NFC playoff picture will drastically be determined by this game because both of these teams are very much in the race. If the Vikings win, they're in. If they lose, maybe the Bears get in. Maybe the Bears don't get in. Who knows? Bro's name is Oppie Toppie. Pause. Hey Siri, 112. She talks about your mom. For real, for real. Siri says my mother. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Oh, I didn't think Siri was going to say it. All right, here we go. This is it, team. Good. 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 This is a good start. Not good. Not good. Why are we turning the ball over? Okay, we're going to go a little slower. All right, we're up 14-10, but the Bears have the ball to start the third quarter. Oh, dear. 3rd and 3. Darius Slayton gets 27. Yeah, it looks like they're going to score a touchdown. Yep. Cordell Banks to Marquise Brown. She calls the cut. Oh. Oh. Yikes. Okay. 3rd and 7. Yes. Big play. 17 for our number one receiver this year, Rashad Bateman. P8. Did we just score? What the hell? It said 10-yard penalty, and then it said extra point. Huh? How did we score? Did Madden just gift us a touchdown? It says Hector's thrown 3, so no, Madden did not gift us a touchdown. Okay, so I guess we had a long pass for Terry McLaurin. Can I see, like, the highlights thing? Isn't that in game stats? I'm so confused. Okay, I'm not complaining. I guess it's just not showing it in the play history. Here, let's see if we can scroll down and find it. No. Huh. I mean, I guess we had a long touchdown for Terry McLaurin, but it's just not showing up in the play history. I don't think Madden gifted us a touchdown. I think that was fair and square. And obviously, there's no way I could have hacked it. But I guess thanks, EA. 3rd and 5. Sack by Garrett. Yes. Good stuff. All right, let's score here. 3rd and 3. No, that's not good. All right, now we're in the fourth quarter. 4th and 12. They kick a field goal. It's a 1-point game. Good stuff, Najee. Good stuff. Keep it going. Good. Good. This is good. This is really good. 3rd and 6. Wake up. No. Okay, take the points. Okay, 24-20. If the Bears score here, we might hop in. Oh, dear. 4th and 5. Oh, they went for it, and they got it. And they scored. We're going to hop in. After the kickoff. We don't need to see the kickoff. All right, 24-27. The Bears are winning. 4 minutes to go. Hector, let's see what you got here, buddy. Seems like Hector's been playing pretty well today. But he's got to win this game. If there's one thing we've noticed about Hector throughout big games is that he doesn't really come up big in the big moments. Oh, okay, maybe he isn't playing all that well. He's completed 50% of his passes. That was a really good play after the catch by Najee. I would like to take as much time off the clock as possible. I don't want the Bears to get the ball back with much time. I would like to run the ball a lot. Or, I mean, that works too. Michael Pittman puts us in field goal range. That's good. And we have a very good kicker with Jack Fox. Although I don't think it's really going to matter because we have it at the 26. Does this game have play? Yes, it does. This game matters to you guys. I think it would be better for you if the Bears won. So you guys should probably root for the Bears. Although you can still get in if we win. Actually, maybe it doesn't really help you guys if the Bears win. Because if the Bears lose, they're out. So I don't really think it matters for London. Because they have I think London would have an equal chance of making the playoffs no matter what happens. Because if the Vikings win, then we're in, and the Bears are out, and then 3 teams are fighting for 1 spot. If the Bears win, and we lose, then 2 teams are fighting for 5 spots. So I guess London's chances are slightly better if the Bears win, but not really. Touchdown for the Vikings, and we take the lead. It's Rashad Bateman. He's been our best receiver this year. Not Michael Pittman, not Henry Ruggs, not Terry McLaurin. It's been Rashad Bateman. All right, defense, I need one stop. Well, yeah, it's going to come down to tiebreakers because there's a lot of 9 and 8 teams. Now that I think about it, if we lose, maybe we could still get in. Because what if the Bears jump us and the Bears get 6 and we get 7? Actually, I don't think that's possible because Atlanta was already ahead of us. So, yeah, no, we have to win. The Rashad Bateman agenda is here, baby. You know it. Imagine if A.J. Terrell was on the Bears. Oh, I would love that. That would be great. Rashad Bateman being the best receiver on his team. I mean, he has been for the Vikings all year. I think he's the only one with over 1,000 yards, although McLaurin, I think, has a lot today. So maybe... I don't think Terry's all that close to 1,000, though. So even though he has a lot today, maybe he still won't get it. Told you, Octi, we're not even close to guaranteed a playoff spot. We still need to get a stop here. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We got to get a playoff spot first. We got to win the game. 2nd and 3, good stuff. 94, who's 94? Justin Flo, go Ducks. Although he's not a Duck anymore. But still, good Ducks. All right, 2-minute warning. The Vikings are 2 minutes away from clinching a playoff spot, but we've got to get a stop. The Bears' season is on the line these next couple of plays. If they don't get it here, they've got to go for it, right? Cordell Banks throws it away. Yeah, that tells me they're going for it. Yeah, this is the right call. They should go for it. They've got to get it, though. 4th and 4. Banks with a good throw up the middle, and it's incomplete. Who's 20? Is that Jair? I don't think that's Jair. Is that Cameron Curl? Did Cameron Curl make another play? No, that's Hall. That's Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall with possibly the season-saving play. There's a reason why I traded a first-round pick for him. It totally wasn't to get my team cheap. No, definitely not. But, I mean, Bryce Hall is legitimately pretty good. So, I hate the entire state of Illinois. I mean, you guys still have a shot to get in. It's almost an equal shot. And this game still isn't over. The Bears still have 2 timeouts. This game's not over. I am not confident until we're either up by 2 scores or the game has 0 seconds on the clock. Or that. Okay, now I feel a lot better. Big first down for Najee Harris. So unless we turn the ball over here or throw it or do something stupid, then we should be fine. I mean, worst case, we kick a field goal and the Bears get it with like 20 seconds. That's not Breece Hall, that's Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall plays for the Jets in real life. As does Breece Hall. Okay, yeah, that really makes it less confusing. No, Bryce Hall and Breece Hall are different people. 2nd and 10. Okay, good stuff. Okay, not bad, not bad. Bears are out of timeouts. Do not throw the ball. Whatever you do, give the ball to Najee Harris. I don't care if we don't get the first down because we're still in field goal range. Just don't throw the ball. Why? Why? That's stupid. Forget I said that. That's fine. Okay. So Minnesota wins the game officially. This is why I'm not calling the plays. Put it that way. So the Minnesota Vikings, after a tumultuous start to the year and losing our starting quarterback due to injury for a few weeks, the Minnesota Vikings are going to the playoffs. We're going to be probably the 6th seed. Chicago Bears, what happened? How do you lose to the Minnesota Vikings? How you get no playoff spot? But seriously, good game. Bears made it tough. Bears are a good team. The Bears stayed in it right until the end. Cordell Banks, he's a ball player, as is Hector. Hector missed a lot of throws, though. But he had a lot of big throws as well. But overall, both QBs were pretty good. Najee Harris was better than James Robinson. It seems like we ran the ball better than them, which is partly why we won. Terry McLaurin was him today. Rashad Bateman is also him. Where's Henry? What are you doing, Henry? Did he not get a target? I'm going to need you to show up for the playoffs now, Henry, because that's where we're going. But, Sam Williams had 3 sacks. Why was he in the game so much? I mean, I'm not complaining, but why did he get 3? Of course, Jelani Tavai had a sack, too. Of course he did. Okay, so I think we know what the situation is with the AFC. The NFC is a little bit murkier because we had the Falcons, the Giants, and the Black Knights all at 9-8 fighting for the 7th seed. And we don't know what all the seedings are. So, yeah, all the regular season games are done now, right? I didn't skip anyone? Good. So everything's done. The AFC, I think, is going to look exactly the way it does on the screen. This was the seeding going into the day, and I think this is what's going to happen. So, barring something wild from EA, barring like the Browns jumping in or something, which, EA's not going to help Nick. We've got Ravens, Tigers. I feel like they played each other in playoffs a couple years ago. Bison and Patriots, and then Broncos and Shamrocks. The NFC is a little bit more mysterious. Carolina's going to get 1. The Lions and Niners will be 2 and 3 in some order. Did they play each other by chance? I don't know if they played each other. Let's see. They did not play each other. Okay. So they'll be 2 and 3 in some order. I would rather play Detroit. I think we have a better chance against the Lions. So hopefully the Niners are 2 and the Lions are 3, assuming we get 6. The Bats will be 4. Presumably the Rams will be 5, so the Bats will play the Rams in the playoffs. You guys remember the last time the Bats played the Rams in the playoffs in like season 2? That game was crazy. So that's a fun rematch. The Vikings you'd think would be 6. So us and the Rams will be 5 and 6. I think the Rams will be ahead of us. And then 7 will be one of Atlanta, the Giants, or the Black Knights. No, you guys didn't miss out. We haven't simulated yet. Are we ignoring the Jets have 2 Michael Carters, Bryson Brees, and then, well, Quinnen and Quincy Williams are siblings. The other ones are coincidences, but the Williamses are siblings. So, of the Falcons, the Black Knights, and the Giants, how did they do? The Black Knights played against the Giants twice, obviously. Loss. And it doesn't look like they played the Falcons. So, presumably, the Giants should be ahead of London. Did the Giants play the Falcons by chance? They did, and they won. So the Giants have the tiebreaker over both teams. So it should be the Giants at 7 over Atlanta and London. We'll see if EA gets it correct. All right, here we go. We are now in the playoffs. Let's look at the bracket. Let's see what happened. Yeah. The Patriots and Tigers switched, but other than that, oh, god damn it, we don't get to play Detroit. So the Lions are still 2, the Niners are 3, and the Giants are 7. So we were mostly right, other than the Tigers and Patriots swapping for whatever reason. So now the Ravens play New England. I think this is good for Baltimore. I would rather play New England than Chicago. And then the Bison play the Tigers. Battle of a couple AFC South opponents. And then, of course, Denver and Dublin, but we've already known they're playing each other. In the NFC, we've got the Lions and the Giants. Why do I feel like the Giants are going to win that game? I don't know. I just have a gut feeling. The Niners and the Vikings, I do not have a good feeling about that at all. Didn't the Niners beat us in the playoffs last time? No, that was the Rams. And then the Rams lost to the Niners. Okay. And then the Bats and the Rams, a rematch of a playoff game from a couple years ago, which ended up being really, really exciting. I think that was the game where we had like a crazy game-winning touchdown and the stream crashed like right before it. Do you guys remember that? I think like season 2, maybe? All right, so we do have some housekeeping stuff to do before we wrap up. First off, now that we're done with the regular season, we can look at the coaching records, the final coaching records. The Salt Lake City Pioneers won more regular season games than anybody throughout the 5 years of the OFL 22 cycle, and they won 0 playoff games. We're not doing the wild card now. The Tigers were the only other team to win 50. The Tigers are one of the few teams to have made the playoffs every year. Actually, it's them and the Pioneers are the only teams who have winning seasons every single year. And they also have not won a playoff game. They have gone one and done every year. Why? Because we've been streaming for 2 hours? Who is the worst record? I know some coaches are like technically newer users because I had to do some switching around, but if like a coach who's been here the entire time, the Jets, why is that not a surprise? All right, let's go through stats and whatnot so we can figure out awards and all that stuff. Mac Jones led in passing. He had 50. Good Lord. Is Mac Jones going to be an MVP candidate? He might have to be. The highest passer rating went to Dan, followed by Russ, then Mac. Yeah, Mac's going to be an MVP candidate. Trey Lance, Joe Burrow. Someone in that group's got to miss out. I mean, Russ's team didn't make the playoffs, but I don't know how we can keep him out. That's going to be tough. Maybe I just have 6 MVP candidates because Joe Mixon's got to be there too. Boatwell threw for 5,000 yards. Good Lord. Good for him. And the worst was Hugh Phillips. Joe Mixon ran for 2,116 yards, breaking the rushing record. Can Josh Allen get... Josh Allen's probably the first guy out because I feel... Again, Joe Mixon I feel like has to be there. And then there are like 5 or 6 other quarterbacks slightly ahead. So I feel like Josh Allen's like the odd man out of that group. This is touchdowns, by the way. Receiving. Did DJ Moore get the Triple Crown? He did not because Jameson Williams had more catches. All right, so we'll start with receptions. That goes to JMO. Yards is DJ Moore. How do you beat Andy Morrison? Watch the Ravens game. I mean, Andy Morrison wasn't all that good. So, I mean, the Broncos didn't look impressive at all to me in the game against Baltimore. Bonerific! And then DJ Moore had 21 touchdowns. The next highest was 16 by Darnell Mooney. That's a weird one. Okay. Good for him, though. Who allowed the most sacks? Which scrub was it? It's going to be like Austin Jackson or something. No, Marco Ball. Ball don't lie. All right, we'll do by conference for defense because that's easier. 23 TFLs for Lenny Porter and Daniil Hunter. Nick Bosa with 23 sacks. Interceptions. Jalen Johnson leads the way with 6. Four fumbles forced for Will Anderson. He also had 3 recoveries. That's got to be DPOY, at least on the ballot. Then in the NFC, 22 TFLs for Shane McCormick, a rookie. 20 for Tyler Davis and Tevin Conrad. Sacks, Kenny Clark had 21.5. Okay. Myles Garrett with 20.5. Shaq Barrett had 15.5 and 4 picks. Huh. Okay. Stephon Gilmore and Michael Ojemudia led the way with 5. Who's this? Edward Winborn. He had 4. Fumbles forced. JOK, Mitch Weeks, and Yannick Ngakoue with 2. And a number of guys with 1. Do we have any perfect kickers on the year? Jason Sanders, JJ Glanville, and that's it. All right, let's see who the game gave awards to. Actually, first we'll look at the players of the week for this week. Macaroni and Cheese, Pat Mahomes, Stephen Miller, and Daniil Hunter. I was going to say, what do they all have in common? They're all out of the playoffs, but Mac Jones is in the playoffs. They give the MVP to Russ. Won't argue it. They have Kamara over Mixon. I mean, Kamara did run for 23 touchdowns, but Joe Mixon did too. Coach of the Year, they gave to the Games. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Russell Wilson. DPOY, Nick Bosa. Yeah, I think the Rookie of the Year ballot will be with Dickie Cocklauncher, Alex Morton, I have no clue how he finished in 4th, and then Jerry Wilkinson, who finished in 5th. That's going to definitely be the 3, I think, without a doubt. Defensive Rookie of the Year is a little more interesting. I'm going to write this down just so I know whose stats to check. So we have Titus Arrington from New England, Sherwood from the Dolphins, Harrison from the Jets, and then the Diablos have a bunch of guys. Russell Wilson takes home the best quarterback. Kamara wins the best running back. Again, over Mixon. That's a surprise. Titus Arrington was the best linebacker as a rookie, so that guy's got to be pretty good. A.J. Terrell in 5th. Yuck. Then in the NFC, Mac Jones wins the Offensive Player of the Year. Najee Harris, the highest non-quarterback. Shaq Barrett wins DPOY, even though his team is awful. I mean, there's a reason why team success doesn't really matter for that award. Hugh Richards wins the off. Yeah, none of these guys are going to be on our ballot. Cordell Banks didn't play long enough, and then these guys just weren't really good enough. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we've got Tyrell Sherman from the Bears. Quincy Vance from London. We got a couple guys from Seattle, and then I think Sosa on the beat had a pretty good season, so we'll add him on my list too. Mac Jones, best QB. Hector finished in 9th. That feels a bit high because he missed time. Najee Harris, best running back. Good. I'd say that's pretty well deserved. Darnell Mooney wins the best wide receiver. Best offensive lineman, Penei Sewell. Was that Ragnow in 2nd? Did I read that right? Yep. Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow in the top 2. Best defensive lineman, Kenny Clark. Best linebacker, Shaq Barrett. Jimmy got snubbed again. I don't think Jimmy's a rookie. Sam Williams finished in 10th? Why is this guy getting so much playing time? And why is he so good? Cameron Crowe wins the best DB. Very well deserved. And Jack Fox wins the best kicker. Shout out our Lord and Savior, Jack Fox. All right, we'll go through team stats now. Everybody put your team in the chat so we can go through your final stats for the year. While we wait, we can start with the Vikings. So our quarterbacks total threw for 4,500 yards, 38 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and probably the worst completion percentage in the league. And got sacked 52 times. That's a lot. Najee balled out. Rashad Bateman, game-winning touchdown to put us in the playoffs. Is Henry hurt or something? No, so he just did Jack Diddley's squat against the Bears. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. What is good is this. All right, who's the first team I see? The Browns are the first team I see. No playoffs for the Browns, but Russell Wilson probably going to be on the MVP ballot because he was pretty darn good. 2 1,200-yard receivers, 4 guys with at least 900 yards. I.T. Thomas was more quiet in the receiving game, but he also missed like 4 games. Your line, it was Toronto. No. You guys are like 4th. You guys aren't close to 1st. You guys are the last team I see. The next one I see is Baltimore. The Bison are like right there, though. So we'll just make my life easy and do the Bison. The Bison in the playoffs for the first time, I think, in all of OFL 22. They're, of course, the 3 seed going up against the Tigers, who they won the division over. After we do stats, I want to check how many teams have not made the playoffs, because there can't be money. The Bison were one of them. Now they're not, because they did. Here are the Ravens with 58 touchdown passes from Big Dan. DJ Moore, he is that guy. Not a lot of sacks allowed. And pretty good defense. Whoa. Oh, yeah, they do have a bunch of guys in double digits. 15.5, 15, 14, and 13. And then the Huskies. I think that's the last one. I don't think anybody else is here to claim their stats. Sucks to be them. Wow, Jimmy did have a really good year. Holy hell. 1,400 yards. You want to see Draco Thompson? Okay, I can show you that real quick. like he had a pretty good year, didn't he? Not as good as I thought, but not bad. Okay, how many teams have not made the playoffs? And again, keep in mind some of the coaching users change because again, I can only use their 31 teams. But I guess we'll have to remember. The Bucks have never made the playoffs. Really? I feel like they made it at least once. The Bats, we know they got in, but we had to switch their user. The Jags never made it, and the Bison. So just the Jags and maybe the Bison, not the Bison, the Bucks, and the Jags are only they're 35-50. I thought they were better than that. I'm surprised the Jags never made it once. Now that I think about it, yeah, they kind of didn't. That's pretty much everything, I think. Oh, injuries. Injuries. Can't forget about that. Beats. Nothing. Bryson. Nothing. Broncos. Nothing. Niners. Khalil Lawrence and Deion Jones are still out. Giants. Nothing. Lions. Nothing. Panthers. Nothing. Pats. Nothing. Rams. Nothing. Ravens. Chandler Jones. Shamrocks, nothing. Tigers, J.K. Dobbins is still out 5 weeks, so they've got the white dude. Vikings, nothing. This is the last time I'll ever see Octi on a live stream. Okay, well, it's been real. Final regular season is now in the books. Playoffs will start probably next week. Hoping to wrap that up pretty soon so we can start OFL 23 stuff like the week before or after Christmas, because I know a lot of people are going to be off, especially if we're doing a fantasy draft, which most likely will happen. We'll see. You want to see team stats? We can do team stats real quick. The Ravens had the best offense by a whopping 8 yards. What really good teams are going to be at the bottom? The Broncos are low. New England is very low. And then defensively, the Beats had the best defense by quite a bit. What really good teams are going to be at the bottom here? We had 60 sacks? Good Lord. How many did the Ravens have? The Ravens had to have had like 70. The Bison are pretty low. The Niners are low. The Giants are second to last. How many sacks did the Ravens have? Not even the most. They had 67, and the Panthers had 69. Nice. We'll check. I want to see the turnover differential, too. The Aviators had the best. Okay. Seattle was +6. They had 18 interceptions. The worst was the Cardinals. 27 picks. That's not good, Johnny. That's not good. All right, so that'll wrap it up. Hope everybody enjoyed another great regular season in the books. The award voting Google form will be up either tonight or tomorrow. I'm not fully sure yet. We'll see. So, yeah, that'll wrap it up. Peace out.